All right, so welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're going to tackle something that you've probably never really thought about much before.
Oh, yeah.
Industrial dust collection.
Okay.
Not exactly the most glamorous topic, but trust me on this one. There's a lot more to it than you might think.
Right.
And you actually sent in a YouTube video from a company called Torch Air about this, so let's dive in.
Yeah, it really is amazing how often we just don't even think about how important dust collection is in all kinds of industries.
Yeah.
I mean, from flour mills to cement factories.
Right.
It's not just about keeping things neat and tidy. It's really about safety and efficiency.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I'm already imagining like clouds of flour exploding in a bakery or something.
Exactly.
So this video starts by talking about bag houses and cartridge filters.
Right.
Can you break down what those are?
Yeah, so think of them as the workhorses of the dust collection system. These filters, they capture the dust particles that are generated during all these different industrial processes.
Right.
But the dust doesn't just vanish, right?
Right.
That's where the dust discharge systems come in.
Okay.
That keeps everything moving.
Yep.
And prevents dangerous buildup of all this dust.
So they're like giant air filters, but with a garbage disposal built in?
Yeah. Without a good way to get rid of that dust, those filters would just clog right up.
Right.
And then you could have all sorts of problems, reduced efficiency, damage to the equipment.
Oh, wow.
And yes, even explosions, especially if you're dealing with materials that are combustible.
Yeah. I had no idea it was so critical.
Yeah.
So the video, it focuses on these two main parts of the dust discharge system, hoppers and discharge devices.
Okay.
Let's start with hoppers. What are those all about?
So hoppers are basically like storage bins at the bottom of the baghouse or the cartridge filter. They hold all that collected dust before it's discharged. And the video, it highlights these three main types: conical, flat bottom, and long.
Okay, so it's like choosing the right container
for
your leftovers.
Exactly.
So what's the deal with conical hoppers? They look like giant funnels.
Yeah, you got it.
Yeah.
And that shape, that's not by accident.
Right.
It's based on centuries-old engineering wisdom.
Wow.
I mean, ancient civilizations, they used this design for grain silos.
Yeah, wow.
Because it allows for smooth, natural flow, just using gravity.
Right.
Prevents blockages. Same principle applies to dust collection today.
So, simple but effective design.
Yep.
Just like my kitchen funnel.
Exactly.
Okay, so what about those flat bottom hoppers? They seem like they would need a little extra help to get the dust moving.
You're exactly right.
Yeah.
They're great for saving space.
Okay.
Which can be really important in some industrial settings.
Right.
But they don't rely on gravity as much.
Yeah.
So they often need some additional features to keep that dust flowing.
Okay, I'm intrigued. What kind of features?
We'll get to those.
Okay.
We'll get to those in a little bit.
Yeah.
First, let's talk about long hoppers.
Okay.
These are like the workhorses, for industries that deal with massive amounts of dust, like cement or mining.
Okay.
Think big scale, big volume.
Got it. So like those extra long dumpsters you see at construction sites?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, so we've got our dust captured in these hoppers.
Right.
How do we actually get it out?
So that's where the discharge devices come in.
Okay.
They control the flow of the dust from that hopper to its final destination.
Okay.
And there's a surprising variety of options.
This is where it gets interesting.
Yeah.
The video mentions butterfly valves, double dump valves, rotary airlocks,
Okay.
and even discharging directly into tanks.
Right. So let's break those down.
Okay.
Butterfly valves are the simplest type. It's like a rotating disc that opens and closes to regulate the dust flow.
Okay.
They're cost-effective, but not ideal for heavy-duty jobs or for materials that are abrasive.
Okay.
Think of it like a basic faucet,
Right.
Good for everyday use, but not for industrial strength needs.
Simple, I get it.
Yeah.
But what about those double dump valves? Those sound way more complex.
They are. So they're designed for trickier situations, like when you're handling high-temperature dusts that can't be discharged continuously.
Oh, wow.
It's a two-valve system. They work in sequence, kind of like an airlock, to maintain the system pressure and prevent any leaks.
So it's like a high-security system for dust. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
And what about rotary airlocks? They sound like something out of like a sci-fi movie.
Yeah. Rotary airlocks, those are like the big guns of dust discharge.
Okay.
They provide a continuous flow.
Okay.
They maintain an airtight seal, and they can handle large volumes of dust. Picture a revolving door.
Okay.
But instead of people, it's constantly moving dust out of the hopper.
Oh, wow.
And this technology is so effective that it's also used in things like pharmaceutical manufacturing
Right.
and even space exploration.
Wow. I'm starting to see how much engineering goes into something as seemingly simple as just getting rid of dust.
It is.
So what about discharging directly into tanks? Is that a common method?
So discharging into tanks is a simpler solution.
Okay.
It's often used when you're dealing with lower volumes of dust,
Okay.
like in a smaller workshop or a manufacturing facility.
Right.
It's a good way to keep things contained and under control without needing those complex discharge mechanisms.
So like choosing between like a dump truck and a wheelbarrow,
Yeah.
depending on how much you need to haul away.
It all comes down to finding the right tool for the job.
Right.
And just when you thought we'd covered it all, there's more.
I love a good plot twist.
Remember those flat-bottom hoppers we talked about?
Yes.
Well, they often need a little extra help
Okay.
to keep things moving.
Right.
And that's where what's called auxiliary equipment comes in.
Okay, so we're talking about the bonus features.
Yeah, think of it like tricking out your dust collection system.
Okay, what kind of things are we talking about here?
For example, vibrators.
Okay.
Exactly what they sound like. They shake things up inside that hopper
Oh.
to prevent clogs. Just like shaking a ketchup bottle to get that last bit out.
Haha. Love that analogy.
Yeah.
What else is in this toolkit of like dust-busting gadgets?
Oh, you've got aerators,
Okay.
which use puffs of air to keep the dust flowing smoothly.
Okay.
Imagine like a tiny air hockey table
Okay.
inside the hopper, preventing things from getting stuck.
Okay.
And then there are bin level indicators, which are kind of like the brains of the operation.
Bin level indicators? That sounds high-tech.
It is.
What'd they do?
They use sensors to monitor how much dust is in that hopper, preventing it from overflowing and making sure the system runs smoothly. Think about like a gas gauge, letting you know it's time to refill.
Got it.
They're really crucial for maintaining efficiency and avoiding any unexpected shutdowns.
Wow. Who knew there was so much technology packed into a dust collection system? It's amazing how they thought of everything to keep these things running smoothly and safely.
It really highlights the ingenuity that goes into even the seemingly mundane parts of industrial processes.
This has been fascinating. But before we get into like the nitty-gritty of how the dust is actually discharged from those hoppers,
Okay.
let's take a moment to hear from you. What stood out to you so far about the world of industrial dust collection? What surprised you the most? We'll be back in just a moment to continue our deep dive.
So welcome back to the deep dive. Before we took a little break, we were talking about all the ins and outs of industrial dust collection systems and all those different parts that go into keeping those filters clean and running smoothly.
Yeah, we were just talking about all those cool extras, like vibrators and bin level indicators that keep that dust moving and prevent any, unexpected surprises. But I'm really curious about how the dust actually gets out of the hoppers. The video mentions several different methods for discharging the dust.
You're right. You can't just, open a door and let it all fall out.
Right, you're right.
The video talks about gravity discharge, screw conveyors, and pneumatic transport systems.
Okay.
Each one has its own, advantages
Right.
and best use cases.
So it's like choosing the right transportation method for your dust, like a bicycle for short trips, a truck for heavy loads, or maybe even a plane for long distances.
Exactly.
So tell me more about this gravity discharge. Is it as simple as it sounds?
It really is.
Okay.
Gravity discharge is the most basic method. It relies on, gravity
Right.
to move that dust downwards.
Okay.
Think about like pouring flour from a bag into a bowl.
Okay, yeah.
Simple, cost-effective,
Yep.
and it works well for those, fine, free-flowing dusts that don't tend to clump up.
So it's the set it and forget it
Pretty much, yeah.
method of dust discharge. But what about those situations where gravity just isn't enough?
Right.
Like, what about those stubborn, sticky dusts that just, want to cling together?
Well, that's where those screw conveyors come in.
Okay.
So imagine like a giant corkscrew inside a tube.
Okay.
As that screw rotates, it moves the dust along, kind of like a conveyor belt.
Right.
This method's perfect for, heavier, stickier, or larger volumes of dust
Okay.
that wouldn't flow as easily with just gravity.
Yeah, I can see how that would be useful in industries dealing with things like sawdust or metal shavings.
Exactly.
It's like a heavy duty auger,
Oh, yeah.
pushing the dust along. But what about those pneumatic transport systems?
Okay.
Those sound a bit more high tech.
They are. They are. So pneumatic systems use compressed air to move the dust through pipes.
Okay.
Almost like a high-tech vacuum cleaner system.
Oh, wow.
For industrial dust.
Okay.
This method's ideal for transporting dust over long distances or even vertically, like moving it from like a basement level collection point to an elevated storage container.
Wow, that's impressive. It's amazing how they've, developed solutions for all sorts of, dust related challenges. It seems like they've thought of everything.
They really have. And one of the key takeaways from the video is that the best solution isn't always a one size fits all,
Right.
Torch Air, they really emphasize that they offer these customized dust collection systems that are tailored to the specific needs of each client and each industry.
That makes perfect sense. Not every factory or every process is the same.
Right.
And the type of dust, the volume, and even the layout of the facility can all, play a role in designing the system. For sure.
It's like those custom closet organizers,
yeah,
right?
Yeah, exactly.
You get to design a system that fits your exact needs.
Yeah, and they've designed systems for everything from pharmaceutical companies to cement production plants.
Wow.
Each one with its own, unique challenges and requirements. It really makes you think about all the different dust-related problems they must have come across.
Yeah.
And how they've come up with these creative solutions.
Thinking about all those different industries and the unique challenges they face, it makes you realize how important these custom solutions really are. What comes to mind for you? Can you give me an example of a situation that would need like a truly custom designed system?
Sure. Imagine like a factory that produces these extremely fine lightweight powders that are easily airborne, like the kind they use in pharmaceuticals or cosmetics.
Oh, yeah.
They would need a system with like exceptionally fine filters.
Yeah. A carefully controlled discharge method so that none of that dust escapes into the environment.
Yeah. Or think about a manufacturing plant with very specific space constraints.
Yeah.
Where a standard, off-the-shelf system just wouldn't fit.
Right.
They would need a system that's compact, efficient, and maybe even modular.
Right.
So it can be easily, assembled and adapted to the unique layout of the facility.
Exactly. And we can't forget about hazardous materials.
Oh, right.
Imagine a company dealing with dust that's toxic or flammable or even explosive.
Right.
They'd need a system with, special containment procedures, safety interlocks, and maybe even explosion-proof components to make sure the workers and the environment are safe.
It's mind-blowing to think about all the factors that go into designing these systems. It's like solving a complex puzzle,
Yeah.
Figuring out the best way to capture, contain, and safely dispose of all this dust while keeping the entire process running smoothly.
It really is a testament to the ingenuity and the problem-solving skills of the engineers who work in this field.
It really is. It's easy to take something like dust collection for granted, but when you really start to understand the, complexities and the potential risks, it's clear how important it is to get it right. But before we wrap up our deep dive today, I want to bring it back to you, our listener, and your own experiences.
Yeah, let's connect these industrial scale systems to something a little more relatable.
Exactly. Think about your own life. Do you have any dust collection needs, even on a much, much smaller scale, maybe in your workshop, your garage, or even just dealing with those pesky dust bunnies on your couch?
Yeah. Even those everyday examples can help us understand those, principles at play and appreciate the clever solutions that engineers have come up with, to manage dust in all its forms.
We'll be right back after a quick moment to wrap up our deep dive into the world of industrial dust collection. Stay with us. And we are back for the final part of our deep dive today. It's been quite a journey, exploring this surprisingly complex world of industrial dust collection.
Yeah, it has. From giant filters and all those ingenious discharge mechanisms to custom designed solutions for just about every industry you can imagine. It's been pretty eye-opening.
I know, right? I never thought I'd be so fascinated by something as mundane as dust. But as we wrap up our deep dive today, I'd love to get your take on something. We talked about how Torch Air, offers these incredible custom solutions for unique challenges. But what about the future of dust collection? I mean, what trends and technologies do you think are going to shape this field in the years to come?
Oh, that's a great question. I think one of the biggest trends we're going to see is just more and more integration of automation and smart technology.
Yeah.
Imagine like dust collection systems that can monitor themselves, predict when they need maintenance,
Right.
and even adjust how they operate in real time to optimize performance.
It's like a self-driving car, but for dust.
That's amazing.
Exactly. And with the rise of the Internet of Things, these systems could be connected to a larger network, sharing data and even coordinating with other, industrial processes.
Right.
It could really revolutionize how factories operate, making them safer, more efficient, and even more environmentally friendly.
Yeah, for sure. And what about the materials themselves? Do you think we're going to see any advancements in filter technology?
Absolutely. We're already seeing, development of these really advanced materials like nanomaterials that can capture even the tiniest particles with incredible efficiency. Imagine filters that are so fine that they can actually trap things like viruses or bacteria. Wow, that's incredible. And what about those self-healing materials that we hear so much about these days? Could those be applied to dust collection filters, making them, even more durable and long-lasting?
Yeah, that's definitely a possibility.
Yeah.
Imagine filters that can actually repair themselves.
Right.
From minor damage, extending their lifespan and reducing maintenance costs. I mean, that would be a game changer for industries that really rely on heavy-duty dust collection.
Yeah, absolutely. It sounds like the future of dust collection is going to be just as innovative and exciting as the industries it serves. Who knows? Maybe one of our listeners will be the one to invent the next big breakthrough in dust management technology.
The possibilities are truly endless.
Yeah.
And it just goes to show that even something as seemingly simple as dust can spark curiosity, inspire innovation, and lead to these groundbreaking discoveries that can really shape the future of industry.
Well said. On that note, I think we've reached the end of our deep dive into this fascinating world of industrial dust collection. We hope you enjoyed this journey with us. It's been an absolute pleasure exploring this topic with you.
And remember, there's always more to learn.
Right.
So keep exploring, keep asking questions, and keep those minds engaged.
Thanks for joining us on the deep dive. And until next time, keep diving deep into the world of knowledge and discovery.